I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. Just how safe is it to seek needed medical care in light of the COVID-19 pandemic? John R. King takes a look.
Wally DeCino, Chief Operating Officer for Advent Health Hospital in Flagler, says they began hearing reports not just in Flagler but across the board of situations in which residents were avoiding going to the emergency room out of fear of contracting COVID-19, even if they were experiencing potentially life-threatening illnesses.
The thing is that at the hospital, this is where most of the work to make sure that people are safe is being done, right? So, because we need to protect all of the other patients. Even though we had a relatively lower number than other areas related to COVID-19, I'm talking about inpatient. We still obviously treated many patients, but a lot of them went back home and others got admitted. The majority of the patients in the hospital, they obviously didn't have COVID-19. So we need to make sure that not only the staff, but all of our patients are protected. And that's the reason why I mentioned that we need to make sure that our community understands and they feel that, this is a safe place.
DeCino says they put many processes in place to ensure patient safety, using a separate unit for those patients who are either infected with coronavirus or suspected of being infected. The staff in that unit is exclusive to those patients using the proper PPEs, and that anyone suspected of being infected is brought into the emergency room through a separate entrance with separate rooms that have negative pressure to keep the virus contained. He adds that they have done a lot of work to keep social distancing measures in place as they move forward. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
It is not a bankruptcy, despite rumors. It is a legal dissolution of the organization.
After 60 years, the Flagler County Chamber of Commerce is poised to shut down permanently due to COVID-19. President and CEO Amy Stafford says they suspended operations several weeks ago, and she's no longer being paid. She had just started at the helm in January.
I knew that it was going to take a very good year to meet our budget this year. The board had a great plan to move forward, and then in March, COVID-19 hit. And as we got further into a few weeks into March, we started to realize we weren't going to be able to make our budget this year. Half our income was reliant on events, which we can't hold in this environment.
They're also predicting membership losses up to 30%.
We're not the only chamber, unfortunately, closing nationally and in Florida. So we just didn't have any cushion in terms to get us through this period of COVID-19.
The board voted to dissolve the organization, and now its members must also vote.
This is unprecedented in terms of how the COVID-19 virus is affecting businesses, and I just don't see how it's responsible right now to try to recruit membership dollars when our small businesses are having to make their own decisions about whether or not they can stay open and pay their employees.
Starting Monday, you can enjoy some parks in Bunnell again. City Manager Alvin Jackson tells us which are slated to open.
J.B. King Park and the Carver Fields, and those times will be from 10 a.m. until dusk. That gives us a chance early in the morning to disinfect and clean the park. Those facilities, the restrooms and the picnic tables, water fountains would not be available.
While in its parks, Bunnell says you must follow CDC guidelines and wear face masks and practice social distancing.
And we strongly encourage those that have underlying conditions that they continue to practice staying at home.
If all goes well, Bunnell is expected to open even more parks.
COVID-19 has made times difficult for many. That's why the city of Palm Coast is holding a food drive tomorrow called Feed Palm Coast. Palm Coast Mayor Melissa Holland tells us the food drive is not only for Palm Coast residents.
We definitely want to make it clear that this is open to the entire community. We know that hunger obviously crosses all jurisdictional boundaries. This is an initiative and effort for neighbors to help their neighbors.
And that they did, as the city of Palm Coast and Parkview Church raised over $60,000 for the food drive. Food will be distributed at two locations, at City Hall in Town Center and at Parkview Church on Belterre Parkway. Both locations will be distributing food from 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Residents must stay in their vehicles as volunteers place bagged food items in their trunks. Feed Palm Coast hopes to feed at least 5,000 Flagler County families. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Rich Carroll.
A new brush truck has been added to the Palm Coast Fire Fleet. Tony Magoo reports.
There's a new member of the fleet at the Palm Coast Fire Department that will aid in fighting wildfires. The truck will help enhance the safety and welfare of Palm Coast. With us this morning is Patrick Giuliano. He's Palm Coast Fire Public Information Officer.
It's a 2020 Ford F550. It's outfitted with a 400-gallon water tank and a skid pack that has a 4,000 RPM Briggs & Stratton pump.
It's been designated as a TAC 24 and will be housed at Fire Station 24 on Palm Harbor Parkway.
Trucks like this are great because they're smaller, they're lightweight, they're versatile. They allow us to get into areas and wood lines that normal fire trucks can't reach.
This is coming up on a peak time of year for this vehicle.
The temperatures start to go up and the drought index goes up. We often come across a higher threat of fire danger.
This truck will be more mobile than others, right?
A truck like this will allow us to be better positioned to get into that wooded areas and to make quick attack on fires and to allow us to make attack and get headway on fires as they develop.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.